What's good, my fellow GeoGeeks and MetaMappers? Spatial Ninja here, bringing you This Week in MetaMapping. Now, this past week, I just got back from a 3-week vacation overseas. I visited Ireland, I visited England, Scotland, and Greece. So it's been a few weeks since I've put together one of these videos. So excited to get back into it. And this week is the Esri UC. So super excited for the user conference this week and seeing all of the new products that Esri has released over the past year, as well as socializing with all of you GeoGeeks. So let's get into some of the articles for this week. We've got an article on Mapbox and their new application that they've launched within Snowflake. We've got an article that will talk about Esri's new partnership with Databricks and how they're bringing big data analytics into their spatial platform. Another article around a new digital twin that the Singapore Land Authority has put together. Then we'll talk about what's new in ArcGIS, including the new June release of ArcGIS Online. So I'll mention some of the new updates there. And then I'll give you what I'm looking forward to at this week's Esri's user conference, so my perspective. And as always, we'll end with a few MappyMemes. So let's jump into our first article here. So our first article from GIS Cafe. Mapbox launches a Snowflake native app in the data cloud. So Mapbox, the leading location data platform for mobile and web applications, announced at Snowflake's annual user conference, Snowflake Summit 2023, the availability of its new Snowflake native app on the Snowflake marketplace. Data analysis that would have previously required direct interaction with the APIs can now be completed with a simple SQL statement. So Snowflake customers can use Mapbox to map addresses, to match addresses to geographic coordinates, translate raw coordinates to addresses, and aggregate data by geographic boundaries. So some geocoding and some spatial analysis. The Mapbox Snowflake native app expands the availability of location services for thousands of customers on the Snowflake marketplace, said Chris Child, Senior Director of Product Management at Snowflake. So users of the new Mapbox Snowflake native app can tap into Mapbox Geocoding API in order to validate and correct messy location data, convert text addresses and place names to geospatial coordinates, and translate raw location coordinates into text addresses. So any type of geocoding, looks like you can easily do that now using Mapbox within Snowflake. And then the other main capability here is this feature of Mapbox Snowflake native app is the ability to aggregate and analyze geospatial data using Mapbox boundaries, an industry-leading data set of 5 million different polygons of administrative, political, statistical, postal, national, city, and local borders across every country and at multiple levels of jurisdiction. So being able to use those boundaries and do some point and polygon analysis directly within Snowflake. So if you're a user of Snowflake and you want to do some geocoding or some point and polygon analysis, check out this new Mapbox application. Moving on to our second article this week from GIS Cafe. Esri partners with Databricks to bring spatial analytics functionality to the Lakehouse platform. Spatial analysis has become a critical piece of the data science toolkit, enriching all forms of data with geographic context. This allows analysts to uncover patterns, make predictions, optimize workflows to create operational efficiencies. I think all of us understand the power of spatial analysis. Esri, the leader in location intelligence, has partnered with Databricks, the data and AI company. This collaboration will provide users with the advanced spatial analytics capabilities of Esri's ArcGIS and easily accessible in Databricks Big Data Platform, the Databricks Lakehouse platform. So by having geoanalytics tools run directly in Databricks, it empowers those users to perform spatial analysis at scale that they have come to expect with Databricks. And you can do this through different offerings that Esri provides, ArcGIS GeoAnalytics Engine, and the Big Data Toolkit. So instead of taking data from the Databricks platform, bringing it into ArcGIS or ArcGIS Pro to run analysis, you can now take the spatial analysis from ArcGIS and bring it into Databricks and run your analytics directly from within that big data environment. So you get a lot of performance gains there, and you don't have to keep moving data around. Next article here is from GeoWeek News. The Singapore Land Authority develops a digital twin of all public roads. So with our This Week in MetaMapping over the past, seems like 6 months, digital twin has been a big theme, and it continues on this week with this digital twin that Singapore has put together. The government agency, Singapore Land Authority, SLA, initiated a national 3D mapping of Singapore via aerial and street mobile mapping, with a capture once used by many objective to create a smart, resilient, and sustainable nation. So over 2 phases, the project sought to map the entire nation with rapid reality data capturing technologies, creating an accurate, reliable, and consistent national 3D map that supports government agencies in their policy formulation, planning, operation, and risk management. We're starting to see this a lot with nation states here going out and mapping their nation in 3D. So not just mapping the cadastral in 2D, but starting to move more into this 3D mapping. Says here, for the aerial mapping, the team would need to conduct 3D mapping over the entire landmass within 40 days at the highest level of detail. Mobile mapping meant providing point density of 40 points per square meter and 360-degree panoramic images at 20-meter intervals. So collecting quite a bit of data here. Now going digital with digital twins, the mobile mapping data collected for the entire island and nation's public streets amounted to 25 terabytes. Additionally, the team needed to refine about 600 billion point clouds. So Singapore is, it's not the largest nation from a geographic standpoint. But to do this 3D mapping, 25 terabytes and 600 billion point clouds is a lot of data. So one of the challenges with building these digital twins and generating this 3D data is just how much data that you are collecting from these drones, with these point clouds, with all of these 3D maps. So storage is going to be a really big deal as we move to more and more 3D data on the GIS side. So to help share this information, Bentley's Orbit 3DM solution enabled them to deliver a digital twin to their government agencies through a web portal without these agencies investing in IT infrastructure to host and store the data set on their end. Yeah, I mean, there's going to be so much data with these 3D maps that you don't want to keep moving them around, downloading data, porting it to another database. So the ability to have that central portal and accessible data through that portal is going to be key, as we've seen with Esri's ArcGIS portal and open data sites, and being able to stream this data over web services and make this information accessible that way versus requiring everybody to download, host their own infrastructure to stand up their own 3D maps like we see here. SLA's digital twin increases data availability by 50%, enables accurate information extraction, and delivers a sustainable, collaborative digital twin that can be used for multiple planning purposes. So what this tells me is that with these 3D data sets that organizations or states or nations are collecting. They're looking to create more of that open data type of environment and make it easily accessible. I think the more that you can get use out of this data, that's where it becomes valuable, because collecting this data is not cheap. Storing this data is not cheap. So the more and more that you can expose this data to different groups, so there's different use cases, the more value you can actually get out of that expensive 3D data. All right, so let's move on here to what's new in ArcGIS Online, the June 2023 release. This time of year, right before the Esri User Conference, there's always big releases of the Esri products. So the June 2023 update includes new functionality in the map viewer, additional analysis tools, plus other enhancements and capabilities. So I just wanted to highlight a few of the updates here that were of interest to me. The first is editing related records. So finally, the ability to view related records was introduced into the new map viewer here. And now with this latest release, you can actually edit those related records. So this is huge. This is finally adding those necessary pieces to move away from the old map viewer and allowing users to use this new map viewer. So excited for being able to edit related records. The next one on here, add focus to group layers. So when working with group layers on a map, which already is a huge capability in the new map viewer, being able to group layers together, you can now display only one specific layer without having to hide each of the other layers. So that ability for exclusive visibility, where a user can just toggle between these and not need to turn on and turn off to see one, is a great new capability there. Some enhancements with Arcade, other enhancements and improvements, analysis in the map viewer. So most of the feature and raster analysis tools that you've been using in Map Viewer Classic, plus new ones, are now available in the Map Viewer. So then we have a listing of some of the new or updated feature analysis tools: extract data, find similar locations, find by attributes location and location, merge layers, choose best facilities, summarize center and dispersion, and generate tessellations, which now includes the infamous H3 bin resolutions. Also, there's new raster analysis, fill, flow accumulation, flow direction, flow distance. So great to see these spatial analysis tools coming to the map viewer and making it easier for folks to run analysis in the web. Some enhancements to the scene viewer. One here that I'm very interested in is the new 3D base map. So there's been an effort to take the topographic base map and create a 3D version of that, which uses buildings, trees, places, billboard labels, and actually creates 3D features out of those and then generates this 3D base map. So within the scene viewer, you can now choose a 2D base map, or you can choose this new 3D base map that's in beta and have these different trees and buildings automatically extruded within that 3D web scene, which I think is pretty cool. And again, just reinforces how we're moving to 3D mapping and creation of these digital twins. Some new updates to instant apps and ArcGIS dashboards, including mobile dashboard views. So this is really cool. I know this has been frustrating for me, where you try and pull up a dashboard on a mobile device and it does not conform to your mobile screen. So now you can configure a single dashboard to have two views in ArcGIS dashboard. So that's pretty cool. It'll automatically recognize if you're on the web or the mobile, and then select the appropriate dashboard that you've configured there. some enhancements to Experience Builder, and a new capability of ArcGIS Online that I'm really looking forward to, and is one thing I want to check out at the Esri User Conference, is this new data pipelines. So data pipelines is a new capability that enables users to connect to, prepare, and integrate their data in ArcGIS Online. So a single data pipeline represents a series of external data sources, connections, and processors to prepare and integrate datasets into native ArcGIS layers. Users connect to data from common sources and formats, preview and apply data manipulations, and then save that data in ArcGIS Online for mapping, operations support, or analytics. Data pipelines can be saved and shared within an organization. So we can see here, this has kind of like a model builder or ArcGIS Velocity kind of look and feel. Essentially, what this allows you to do is, let's say you've got data in another cloud data warehouse storage location like AWS S3 or Snowflake, or you've got data somewhere else. Now, instead of downloading that data, republishing your hosted feature layers each time that data changes, you can essentially set up this data pipeline that connects into that data source, and at a time interval will automatically stream that data in and update your existing hosted feature layer or create a new hosted feature layer. So we can see here you can do things like calculate fields or do some basic analysis against that before you end up storing that data. So I think this is going to be hugely helpful and was always a limitation of ArcGIS Online versus ArcGIS Enterprise, where Enterprise you have more flexibility around integrating with these different types of data stores, either relational data store or a cloud data store. Now in ArcGIS Online, you can tap into those data stores and automatically update your hosted feature layers without needing to republish those hosted feature layers each time. So this is something I'm really excited for. It's currently in beta, so be sure to check out data pipelines if you want to integrate with some of those external data sources. And the last one here I want to mention is streamlined member removal. So if you're an admin in ArcGIS Online and you've ever had to delete a member of your organization, you know what a pain in the ass it is to delete somebody, because if they own content, if they're in a group, if they own groups, you have to move their contents out, you have to delete those groups, you have to do all of this work, deprovision their licenses before you can actually delete them. So a new time-saving experience for deleting organization members allows admins to complete this process in a streamlined manner. So you've got a nice kind of easy to use step-by-step set of dialogues that can streamline the deletion of a member. So those are some of the new updates in ArcGIS Online. There's a bunch of new product updates. Be sure to check out the ArcGIS blog. And if you are going to the Esri User Conference, check out the new product updates there. There's always new products in the plenary, so if you're not going, be sure to stream the plenary. But I will be at the Esri User Conference, and I'm really looking forward to going and just experiencing the conference and all that it has to offer. One thing that I want to just read off here that I always like to look into before the conference is the JAX FAQ document. And one of the questions here, what is the meaning of this year's user conference theme? So I just want to read this off because I think it's always insightful and gives some good a good look into what the purpose of this conference really is year in and year out. So the conference theme this year, GIS, Creating the World You Want to See, reflects the vision that GIS and the work of GIS professionals can create a more sustainable, equitable, and prosperous world. Today, our world is being challenged on many fronts, and at the same time, GIS professionals are creating thousands of systems and solutions that are addressing these challenges. geography. The foundation of their work is a science-based, powerful language for helping us to understand the complexity of the human and natural world. With the proliferation of geospatial data and modern GIS applications across the globe, geographic science is helping us build a new kind of digital infrastructure that will increasingly be used to manage our world and create a better future. GIS professionals are already applying the geographic approach across industries and sectors to tackle tough challenges and solve shared problems. They are creating understanding through their GIS work, and it's this work that is driving collaboration and impact at every scale, from macro ecosystems to hyper-local issues around planning, building, and managing our world. The new generation of GIS built on web services and more accessible technology promises to open up and massively leverage the work already done. The GIS community is increasingly sharing and using their data, tools, and science. They are also bringing their information together into interactive maps that integrate our knowledge and tell us not only the path we are on, but how we can change it to create a better, more sustainable world. Our vision at Esri is to help our users in realizing their important work. We believe strongly in the power of their collective work and its impact on organizations, communities, and ultimately the world. It is clear that our planet is facing many challenges that require urgent action. GIS can help us do more and dream about a better world, and our users are doing this in their daily own work. Creating a world you want to see is not just possible, it's already happening, and it's clear we need to scale this up massively. So this is always very inspirational to me, just reminds me why I'm in GIS, why I work for Esri, and why I go to this particular conference. So if you are an ArcGIS user and you'll be at the Esri UC, I hope you are as excited as I am. And a few of the things that I'm looking forward to: the plenary. That's where all the new product updates are announced, and you can see them in action. A lot of inspirational stories during the plenary. So I always look forward to the plenary. And a few products that I'm interested in taking a look at this year. One of them is ArcGIS Reality, which is taking LiDAR, taking aerial images, and creating reality capture. The Maps SDK for game engines and seeing what's new there. Bringing that 3D GIS into the augmented reality, virtual reality space using game engines is of interest to me. ArcGIS data pipelines, like I mentioned, I think that'll be a really great capability for bringing data into ArcGIS Online. So those are the few of the products and capabilities I'm really looking forward to taking a look at this week. And the other big thing is just socializing with all of you, and great to always see fellow GIS professionals and talk about use cases and see how they're using GIS. So excited for all of that socializing. All right, so let's finish today's episode with a couple of MappyMemes. And in the Esri User Conference spirit, we've got two MappyMemes around the user conference. This one comes from Poketo Maps. Watch out, GIS chat. It's coming. MappyMemes. We've got Esri UC posts sneaking up on the GIS chat hashtag here. Yeah, so if you follow GIS Twitter, GIS chat, this week is going to be Esri UC tweets left and right, product releases, updates, photos from the conference. So be ready for that. We'll like and retweet this here. Next one comes from Matt Malone. Can't create GIS memes if you're busy learning valuable info at the GIS conference. So Matt's already posted that he won't be at the user conference this year. I thought this was pretty funny, saying that he can't put out his MappyMemes if he's at the conference. learning all this valuable GIS knowledge. So I really liked this one as well. So we'll like and retweet this MappyMeme here. All right, so this has been another episode of MetaMapping, specifically this week in MetaMapping. Hope you all liked this video. Be sure to like the video, subscribe to the MetaMapping YouTube channel, check out all of our shorts and other videos that we post here. Be sure to check out our website and a few of our NFT projects. And if you're interested in the Web3 and NFT world, make sure you guys comment that below and what you would like to learn, what you don't know about this space, what you want to learn about this space. Make sure you comment, let me know. We'll put more videos out, educational, on where GIS and the NFT Web3 crypto space kind of all come together. So again, this has been this week in MetaMapping, and remember to stay mappy, my friends, and enjoy the Esri User Conference if you're there this week.